My friends, how do I look? Do I look sleepy? Do my eyes look a little red? It's day 70. What an interesting one today will be. I think it's going to be a bit more of an interesting conversation I think today. Welcome. My name is Brendan Mitchell. I make a video every day. The majority of these videos are about losing 80 pounds. And it's an interesting one today about losing 80 pounds because I'm at the point where diets fail and where this situation I'm in right now is exactly the timing, the excuse, the circumstances where most people's diets fall apart, including my own. So, you build a routine, you build a habit, you base those routines and habits around the circumstances of your life, your work, your occupation, the people you're with. Um, all of those things kind of come together and make up the best battleground for you to lay the strategy of losing weight. But then you have a week where many things, if not all of those things, change at the exact same time, and you can't really anticipate it, right? I got a new job that completely changes when I can wake up, when I can go to sleep, when I can be available. Completely changes all of that. Immediately right there, huge amount of change, stress, confusion, your habit, your rituals, all of those things break down. Habits go away they go away very fast. Even if you build them over a long period of time, your habits can completely be erased if you're not careful. I am around different people. There are different expectations for me. The time that I have in order to prepare what I'm eating, what I'm not eating, when I'm lifting, when I'm not lifting, all of them are kind of vague to me right now. The amount of ordinary stress, not particularly, shocking stress, the distress that comes with new work and new people and a new environment and new expectations, all of those things kind of come together. So the last thing you're really worrying about is your diet. And you could hopefully be in a place where your diet is so honed in that when all these curveballs are thrown at you, your weight loss habits or whatever your routine of improving yourself or taking care of yourself withstands the force and the brunt of those things, and you just kind of shift around and handle it. I'm kind of there and I'm kind of not there. Um, I had to there were dinners I've been going to that I have to go to, and I could be getting salad with bits of grilled chicken in it, but I'm not. I could also be getting cheeseburgers with like bacon and French fries and appetizers. I'm not doing that either. I'm eating like an ordinary person, probably at maintenance the past couple today and yesterday and the day before that. The excuse I have for all of these things is work. I just don't. I'm so overwhelmed with things I'm thinking about simultaneously that the last thing on my mind is food. Like, I don't even want to eat. And then when I do eat, you eat in a rush, like whatever's available wherever you are, whenever everyone else is eating, right? And this is where habits and routines go to die when you have good excuses and circumstances around you that are very unpredictable. Everything breaks down. Um, for me, right now, I feel well enough in the sense that I don't feel, obligated to overindulge. I don't feel like I have completely collapsed. I am just getting my bearings. I am grabbing, onto the handrail and letting whatever has to happen happen, especially over this first week or so, where I adjust to everything being different and new and figure out when I'm available, when I'm not available, what I can realistically do within the time given to me on any given day. Um, when you're in circumstances like this, there isn't a lot you can do. You can, of course, muscle through it and find the best way to apply your routine to the chaos of every day during the week or two that you're settling into everything being new and unpredictable. And, you have people that they go, well, we're going to go out to eat now. We're going to go out to drink now because these are new people you're meeting and you need to kind of court them in your life, right? You want to be present in these environments and have those shared experiences when you're trying to get your way into a work environment, or maybe it's a creative environment. Whatever it is, it requires a degree of socialization that you really don't I don't think you should bow out of. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to go, well, I guess I'm getting hammered every day again. Well, I guess I'm eating whatever I want every day. That's not the answer. But it's very easy to fall closer towards that than it is to uphold your routines in the face of extreme change, and also changes that are for the most part for the good. So you're like, look, I got to get this good thing out of the way before I go back to all the other things. You're juggling plates. Um, And the best bulwark against it is to kind of lower all of your expectations of yourself, but still set a bar and have some, you still have to find a way to establish your own domination over your mind and your routine and your time and your expectations. So if this past few days I would normally eat 1600 calories and wake up at X time and do this and that and this and that. All of that has changed now for me for the past few days. I just can't do it any other way. I have no choice. And maybe for another day or two, although things are kind of settling now, you set the bar a little bit lower. Okay, I'm going to eat maintenance. I'll be sure not to go over that. Okay, if it's a business thing and we have to go out for drinks, I will have a drink, but I'm not going to have 15 drinks. Now, the issue with that is, of course, like, can you handle those things? Can you handle that nuance? Are you psychologically capable of handling it? There's so many new things occurring around you. It's the last it may be the last concern you have, your how much you're eating, how much you're drinking, because you're already dealing with so many new things, and the pressure of socializing and meeting new people and doing things well. I think most people can probably, especially if they've already developed a routine, set a bar. And also, you don't have to drink and you don't have to over. You could still maintain your routine perfectly. I'm not perfect though. I'm not doing that. Um, Tomorrow will be a lift. I have no reason to miss my lift. That'll be fine. I haven't been overeating to the extent where I'm gaining, tons of weight or something like that, and I'm not concerned about it. I'm not like on the verge of, having 15 drinks a day and completely reverting into a state of extreme chaos. None of those things are happening, but I am recognizing the tidal wave of change and the way it makes me feel and the way you have to react to it in order to maintain yourself. It is the perfect excuse to stop a diet. And I'm sure you, as a viewer, may have experienced it yourself, where your diet is kind of honed in and then you get a new job, or you go through a personal crisis, or you have to move, or some other large, paradigm shifting occurrence happens, and the diet becomes like this thing that was sort of the the key, like the linchpin of your daily experience, and now it's you totally couldn't care less about it. You're like, I can't think about this right now. There's too many other important components I have to worry about. And fortunately, if you've been dieting or you've had a sturdy routine long enough, you should be in a place where you go, but I don't have to fall completely into chaos, right? I can manage all of these dramatic changes and still function like a human being, for the required amount of time, which is where I'm at. Um, all of these changes are good, and all of them are ones that I'm merely hoping to maintain. And I'm the type of person that doesn't like to celebrate anything until it's like deep in the future. And even then, I try to go, well, it could all go away at any moment. And it's not like I've had anything life changing happen. Don't perceive it that way. I just simply have a little bit more to do, and I didn't have enough to do a few months ago and a few weeks ago, if that makes sense. Um, so that's where I'm at. I'm trying to navigate completely rebuilding my routine, completely, kind of shaking my shoulders and reassessing my diet and reassessing my schedule, completely rebuilding my schedule, and also how do I deal with all these new social interactions? How do I deal with all these new environmental changes? How do I eat in this new place? How do I maintain my diet in this new place? How often do I have to go out with these new people? All of these things are can be very flustering when you're dieting for a long period of time and you're kind of walking the razor's edge. It sounds like not a lot, but it is a lot. Um, and of course, I'll see in the coming week, how well I handle it. I like to think in my head, tomorrow when I wake up, I will be able to just completely rebuild the schedule. I'll write it out, I'll plan it all out, and we'll start again. Start again as in start my schedule again, not start my diet didn't go anywhere. My exercising hasn't gone anywhere. I haven't missed anything. I haven't missed a single lift in, 4.5 months. That's not the issue. It's more so about recalibrating what I can and cannot do. Do I have to meal prep to survive this? Do I, have I gained a ton of weight because I've been basically eating on it? I've been eating like maintenance or slightly above or 1600 calories, like alternating because of just social circumstances, having absolutely no time, no idea when I'm going to be home, no idea where I'm going to eat. Things I could have, in theory, prepared for, maybe, but also things where I just didn't have the mental bandwidth to prepare. There's always a better way to handle it. There's always a perfect way to handle these things, but you know, I'm not perfect, and you can't expect yourself to be. So trying to handle this in a gentle but firm way, in the sense that tomorrow when I'm free, because today I've to do work. I have to leave in a minute. Tomorrow when I'm free, I will be able to take a look at all of my normal scheduling, all my normal routine, completely rewrite my entire. I have a huge. I use Evernote. I have many like schedules that I have completely planned out. Checklists, habits, things like that. I have to redo all of those, and in a way, it actually feels very good. It feels great, right? I have absolutely no worry about going out to drink or eat with colleagues the first week I'm meeting all of them because I feel very good about them, about the scenario. And then beyond that, I feel very good about the mentally, ideally better place I will be in psychologically having these things to do, and how it will reflect on my diet in the terms of I will be a slightly happier person in general. I'm always happier when I'm doing more. Um, I'm always happier when I have less of an excuse to be lazy. But these are the weeks in my life where whenever these changes and shifts come, this is when diets go away. This is when all your habits fall away because you have a good excuse. A good excuse will annihilate any routine, especially if you're the type of person that's prone into falling into bad habits or prone into looking for the easy way out of any situation. Um, so how do you handle these things? I mean, as I said, it's just a matter of setting the bar a little lower and also not crushing yourself psychologically for messing up or crushing yourself psychologically for changing. I think on days where everything is stacked against you, if you can take a victory from that day anyway, those are the days where you're building the most firm habits, right? Those are the days where it matters the most to try and do what you're supposed to do. When, on the days where everything is against you going to the gym and it's incredibly hard for you to go to the gym, those are the days where going to the gym is probably the most important and probably has the largest neurological effect on you building the habit of going to the gym. um, and that stands for dieting and everything else in your life. But it's a matter of negotiating how much of yourself you should dedicate to getting that to happen, and how much of yourself you should dedicate to maintaining your like psychological well-being while kind of being in a state of semi-failure when it comes to your routines and your habits and your own expectations. You are allowed. There are excuses that exist. An excuse is just an explanation. When something is an excuse, it's you explaining that you're not responsible for what occurred. That's why people don't like excuses. You're welcome to have an explanation and an excuse so long as you accept that you're the one that's responsible for those things. Um, it's important when these big changing weeks happen where 7 days go by in a blur, you have no time for yourself, you don't know what to expect, and you're very, 90, 80, 70% of your brain is thinking about this thing. It's important that in those weeks, all you have to really try to keep yourself from doing is falling deep into overeating, falling deep into I'm just gonna get home every night and order McDonald's. That's what I do when this happens. That is what you need to not do. I'm fortunate I don't have those. Even at my fattest as an adult, my heaviest, I don't eat fast food. I know that's hard to believe, but I don't have those problems. I don't order food late at night. I only ever did that when I was drinking heavily, and I don't drink much anymore. I haven't drank in like 4.5 months until the other night where I had, a beer. That was a very like social, like I kind of had to have it. And of course, that's not really true, but I kind of felt like I had to. And I'm not, a raging, I don't have like a deep alcohol issue where if I have a beer, like I'll be thinking about beer. I don't really even like beer. Um, it's just all of these things will happen. Your life will get in your way. Things that you cannot predict will occur, and you will end up in situations that you sometimes can't. You just can't completely walk away from things, and you have to accept that you're going to do things that you would prefer you didn't, or that you're going to do things that go against your routines or your expectations. It's all about not letting that slide into complete chaos, into an excuse to destroy yourself. I'm also lucky that if I if I overeat when I'm stressed like this or when I've got a lot of expectations, a lot going on, I will feel way worse about myself, way more insecure, way less confident, and I need to be secure and confident right now. So if I ate a huge meal and then went out drinking, the next day when all these things are expected of me, I'm gonna be a complete mess. I'm gonna be thinking only about how shitty I feel, how ugly I am, how problematic my behavior is. All I'm gonna be able to think about. So fortunately, the fear of feeling that way for me greatly overshadows my desire to like eat or drink or something like that, which is very minimal. I'm also lucky in the sense that I'm a person that when I'm truly extremely stressed or overwhelmed, I don't get hungry at all. Like there's no hunger at all. I am totally a person that all of my overeating habits come from complacency, comfort, and feeling kind of fine. That's usually my issue with eating. It's like I'm rewarding nothing. That's where I've ended up gaining tons of weight. Now, don't get me wrong, when I was drinking heavily and eating heavily, clearly I was not okay mentally, right? I mean, I was drinking as I've said before, and I know whenever I say this, it sounds like I'm being hyperbolic. I was drinking a bottle of whiskey every like 2.5 days. I'm a big boy. I'm also intensely, at least half intensely Irish, and I can drink. Most people cannot drink as much as I can, and most people don't even realize I'm drinking after I've drank for. I could drink for 4 hours straight, and my wife still doesn't know I was drinking. That's how well composed I am as a person. Um, it's just a blessing and a curse. I don't. It's a blessing, when you're trying to have fun in Korea. It's a curse, when you're trying to develop as an adult. Um, but that's distinct from now and distinct from my normal inclinations, which are not to overeat when I'm stressed. Normally, when I'm stressed, I don't. My stomach hurts so bad I don't want to eat. I feel all of my stress and anxiety in my stomach, all of it. It's like it feels like someone's stabbing me in the stomach. I can't eat. I can't do anything. Um, but again, that's kind of. I know I've kind of been rambling and repeating myself now, but that's what's going on with me, and that's something I know everyone feels. It happens to everyone, and you get really angry, right? You get angry when people interrupt your routine. You get angry when life gets in the way of something you've been building and trying to do. When you're working really hard and you've done 10 days in a row perfect, and then someone's like, "Well, I want to go out to dinner. We have to do this," and you're just like, "No, get away! Like, don't fuck with this." You want to say this, you don't. You want to say these things. You want to say, "Get away from me. I can't. You don't understand. I've been working really hard to do this thing." And then, of course, some people go, "Well, you've been working really hard. You should do this." And you go, "No, no, no. That's the problem. Is when I work really hard, I reward myself, and then I destroy myself." So it's tricky, and it's especially tricky when it involves other people. You're not in a vacuum. You'll probably never be doing this alone. And the battlefield is only even in heaven, as they say. You will be at war with your surroundings and your environment and the people around you when it comes to dedicating yourself to a singular goal. You will be at war with people always. But it's a matter of understanding how to articulate that battle without being a monster and without being unrealistic. Um, so that's where I'm at. It is a week where I have every excuse in the world to not even think about videos, food. Like I don't have time for any of this shit. But I am making sure to partition off a piece of my mind to remember what I'm supposed to be doing outside of this little microcosm that's now suddenly so important. Videos, dieting, taking care of myself, not backsliding, making sure to lose 80 pounds. All of these things have to take precedent when they can. Right now, they're just kind of simmering over here, and then the moment I have a free time, they'll bubble back up. So that's where I'm at. Nothing changes. Um, Diet has been a little wonky, nothing bad, not a single meal I felt guilt over, not a single thing I've gone, I can't believe I did this, nothing. Because I set internal bars for myself about what I should expect, what I am capable of doing, what would be too bad and what would be too much. You have to tell yourself, you have to know yourself well enough to go, I know if I do this, I'm compromising. But if I do that, I'm destroying myself and I'm going nuts. And you know the difference. You know the difference. There's an enormous difference. There's an enormous difference between going out to dinner that you're kind of socially obligated to go to and eating a regular okay meal and going out to and the difference between that and going out to dinner that you're socially obligated to and eating as much as humanly possible, drinking as much as you can, continuing the night when you don't have to, going, yeah, I'll go to the bar after this when you don't have to. You know the difference. You can distinguish the two. And that is your job when you're trying to maintain difficult routines and difficult diets. Your job is to know how to negotiate and when to negotiate and what is and isn't a victory. All of my days where I've been not eating perfectly the past week because of these circumstances, I've still every one of them is a victory because I could have been way crazier. Every one of them I maintained myself like a normal person with a normal relationship with food and alcohol. Anyway, day 70, my friends. I wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to talk about it. Wish me luck once again. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're still here. I appreciate it. I know the videos have been thin and I have been semi-present. I get it. We are going to ramp up, and I'm not just saying that. I'm afraid to be excited because I feel like I'm allowed to be excited. People have commented before, I'm very hard on myself. You're right. You also don't even realize how hard I am on myself. It's like this is the version of me I'm giving you is like I'm like, well, don't say that about yourself. That'll freak everyone. I'm really vicious, but and I don't like to give myself an inch. So I have no celebrations yet. I refuse to be excited about anything because I live under the impression it's all going to be taken away, because it has been before. But the changes are all good, so I feel good, and I think things will go well, and I will be able to leverage this, and have more and less time, but also better use of my time and be better at using my time. I'll go now, because now I'm just repeating myself. Thank you again. Like, comment, and subscribe. Good luck to you and your endeavors. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow, and let's go.